This week's Parsha, Parashat Bo, is the story of coming to justice, of coming to freedom, coming to liberation. There's a curious incident in this week's Parsha, in Bnei Israel's journey to redemption, though. Hashem famously tells Bnei Israel to paint blood on their doorposts, to make a mark. And we can ask, and the Mefarshim ask, why did God need a mark? Why did God need a mark for whose house was to be liberated and whose house was to be afflicted with the 10th plague? Doesn't God know all? Isn't God all-seeing, all-aware? Rashi, giving a close read of the pasuk, has a great answer. Shmot Yud Bet, pasuk Yud Gimel. V'haya hadam lachem laot al habatim, and the blood shall be for you a sign on your houses. Rashi says, lachem laot v'lo le'acherim laot. It's a sign for you and not for others. Mikan shelo natnu hadam ela mibifnim. From here we learn that the blood was only painted on the inside of the door. On the inside. When I was learning this week's Parsha, it reminded me of an incident that happened a few weeks ago. A very close friend and ally who organizes food workers wanted to have a food worker in a kosher establishment come and share his story with a few Jewish friends. This worker had been working in a kosher restaurant for many years and had been oppressed. He was forced to urinate in buckets because they wouldn't let him use the bathroom inside. They were cheated out of wages. They were called bad names by the management. All kinds of nasty things were happening in this restaurant. And actually a group of workers wanted to share their story. So when I heard this, I thought, great, bring them over. We'll invite 30 people. We'll have a huge meal. Let's not do it at my home. We'll do it in a shul. We'll make it a big event. And my friend who was organizing this said, you know what? It's not really the point. This is the first step on a long journey and what's probably going to be a long fight for justice for these workers. This sign, this first meal, needs to be for them. They need to share their story in a personal and intimate and powerful way. Not in a way that's going to be broadcast to millions of people, but rather they need to mark the beginning of their journey towards freedom with a small, intimate gathering where they can share their story. And I reflected on this a lot, about the power of making signs inside before we make signs outside. We're all engaged in struggles for liberation, whether it's personal liberation or for the liberation of others. But how important is it that as we begin our journeys, as we enter the wild deserts of struggle, that we make these personal marks, these personal signs on our innermost doorposts that let us know we've begun a journey, we've begun a fight. We're in this for the long haul, and God is with us. I bless you and I bless me that in the coming weeks, that in addition to making big statements and big actions on the outside, we also find the time and the space and the wisdom to make the small markings, the small otiot, the signs of justice on the inside. Shavua Tov. Shabbat Shalom.